Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, however you want to live your life. It is Coach Baird coming to you live from the Baird Cave. You know, I'm coming to you from my basement hanging out. Got a lot of great guests coming up, so thank you so much for listening. You're listening to the Baird Necessities. This is episode number 14. I want to thank Nick Jansen for joining me live last week. It was great catching up with him. Thank you all who've listened to my past episodes. If you haven't yet, you can catch them on your own time. You can find me on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean. I have my own YouTube channel. Yep, that's right. Check out the Baird Necessities on YouTube. It's the Baird Necessities Podcast. Check me out. Don't worry, there's not any videos out there of me yet that I'm aware of. I know there's some photos going on the internet that I'm not really proud of. No, I'm kidding. There's nothing on the internet about me that I'm not proud of. So please follow me on Twitter at @TheBairdNEC, or you can send me an email at thebairdnec@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Joining me this week in the Baird Cave is a former Gull Lake graduate. He graduated in 2015, and he currently finished up his senior season at Taylor University as a key member of their baseball team, where he led his team in home runs and RBIs. In high school, he lettered twice for head coach Bill Blakely at Gull Lake. He was named to the Southwest Michigan Athletic Conference. He was a member of the National Honor Society. Joining me this week at the Baird Cave is Wyatt Whitman. So how's things been going?
Been going well. Finishing up school here. Baseball just ended, unfortunately, but it was a really enjoyable 4 years. So, you know, kind of looking back with a lot of good memories right now.
You know, I feel kind of bad because when I was doing this, I thought you were done with your junior year. Then I looked up and I'm like, oh man, this is his senior year. That stinks.
Yeah, it flew by. You know, I felt like high school went fast and college went twice as fast. So that's how it goes.
I don't know if you've listened to the show before, if you're familiar how things go, but we'll get right into it. All right.
Okay. Yeah, I've listened a little bit. I enjoy the content, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right. You know, I originally wanted you to be one of the first ones on here because you were in town and you were actually willing to do it, and just it fell through. But luckily, we were able to get you back in here, so via the Baird phone. But yeah,
unfortunately, wasn't able to come see you, but I think it's more fitting who your first guest was anyway. So,
right. Wyatt is the son of Mark and Brenda Whitman, and you have several brothers and sisters. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
4 younger brothers and sisters. My younger sister Ashton is a freshman here at Taylor as well. She plays softball. She's actually in the opening round of the national tournament right now out in Oregon. So she's already more successful than I am. And then I have 2 younger brothers, Cody and Tristan, who are a lot of fun to be around, just a couple of goofballs, but we get along well. And then there's the princess, the youngest girl, Ellie, who is definitely the 5th child. We all love her, but I think we all spoil her a little bit as well.
Coming from being the baby in the family, I understand how things work. So I could see how it might be easier to baby the baby. But what's the age difference between all of you guys?
Yeah, so Ashton just turned 19, which is crazy to think about. And then Cody actually just turned 15 today. A lot of spring birthdays in our family. And then Tristan is 12, and then Ellie is 10. So they're all growing up pretty quick on me.
Parents aren't going to decide to have another one?
No, they're still in this for the long haul. So I think they're done, and they're just going to manage what they have right now.
That's funny. Now, speaking of Ashton, I don't know if she's ever told you this story. During, I believe it was her freshman year, she came into the meeting. So every year we have a pre-meeting before tryouts, and all the baseball players come in and they fill out cards to, their best attributes, their best positions, what they're going to be, what they like about the game, stuff like that. And dumb me not paying attention. Like, I just thought she was just like a brother to one of the players, which ironically she was, but I just thought she was just sitting there just to sit there. I had no idea her intention was to try out for the team. And she did, and she made it. She played 2 years of baseball with us, so that was pretty interesting. I still feel bad because she's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah, no, I'm sure you did not offend her at all. She, like you said, it's kind of a unique situation. It's not something that you kind of see every day. So I'm sure it was no surprise for her. But yeah, she enjoyed all of her time playing Gull Lake baseball, I know, and then she enjoyed her time at Gull Lake softball as well. So everything she's done has kind of brought her where she's at now, and she's loving that place. So it's all good.
And it was kind of crazy the instant success that she had switching from baseball to softball.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to just how athletic she is. You know, she was a 3-sport athlete in high school. She was really good at golf, really good at basketball. Probably could have played any of those 3 sports, including softball, you know, in college somewhere. So I think it just shows how athletic she was. You know, the games are similar, but still, for how quickly she picked it up. And she's still picking it up, you know. I mean, she still continues to get better. And I think that's why she enjoys the challenge of softball, just being a new sport for her, that she can kind of challenge herself but continue to excel at. So it's fun to watch. I wish I was that athletic.
Well, you didn't do too bad for yourself. I mean, I'm sure she learned a lot of stuff from you as well, growing up with you.
Yeah, you know, we were kind of best buddies growing up. Always on a diamond somewhere playing catch. You know, we would always stay a couple hours after our games, and I remember, you know, my dad would just go BP to us or hit us ground balls or something until the sun went down. So we kind of grew up just competing, but also just enjoying like playing together and, you know, kind of catch partners for life.
There you go. Now, what about your younger brothers? Are they into baseball too, or?
Cody is very athletic, but his passion is a little bit different. He has recently gotten really into trap and skeet shooting, so he does that competitively, and you know, he's got a little bit of time yet, but he looks out to the future. He would love to do that in college competitively as well. There's plenty of good teams and scholarships out there for that, so that's kind of his area of passion right now. Which is cool to see. It's cool to see him pursue his own thing.
Right. Kind of separate himself from what you and Ashton did.
Yeah. You know, it's not for a lack of athleticism. He's a big, strong kid, and he did play baseball when he was younger and played, you know, football, basketball, and definitely was talented enough to keep doing that. He just, you know, found something that he enjoyed more, and he's pursuing it, you know, just like the rest of us have done with our things. So it's fun to watch him do that. And then Tristan is a big baseball guy, big baseball, football, basketball. He's, you know, we'll see how it all pans out, but he might end up being the most athletic of the bunch. He, you know, he loves his sports, and he kind of grew up battling the older siblings, which I think made him better than any of the rest of us. So he's just started his baseball season, so that's one thing I'm looking forward to, is getting to get home and watch him play a little bit.
That's good. Before coming to Gull Lake High School, you were homeschooled. How long were you homeschooled for?
For my entire life until essentially until I went to Gull Lake.
Now, what made you come to Gull Lake?
A couple things. Knew that they had just a good school program, especially one that allowed me to dual enroll at a local community college, which was something that I wanted to do just to work ahead on college credits. I ended up doing that through Kellogg Community College, and it was a great experience. And then I also knew that their baseball program was excellent, and you know, that was always my passion growing up, and I knew that I wanted to go somewhere with good coaches and good players so I could continue to develop and hopefully go on and play at the next level.
Now, when did you start playing baseball?
I mean, as early as I can remember. I'd say 3 or 4 years old. Really the first thing I can remember doing and loving, and that never changed.
Now, growing up, was there any favorite player that you really liked, or, like, I would say mimic or emulate?
Yeah. Derek Jeter, easily. He was always my hero. I always wore number 2 growing up for that. Always tried to be on a team that was, you know, navy blue colors, just like the Yankees. So, you know, him being from Kalamazoo, I think, was why I always kind of gravitated towards him as a favorite player. That along with just, you know, being a really good player, and kind of a championship player and a clutch player, and just a guy I always wanted to play like.
Nice. I always wanted to be like Mickey Tuttleton. A little bit older for you to know who that is, but yeah, I emulated his swing.
I've heard the name.
You've heard the name. Old Tiger.
I have.
Him and Rob Deere.
I've heard it. I love it.
Huge. I was a huge Cecil Fielder fan too back in the day.
Okay.
Just something about something about big guys playing baseball.
Yep. Hey, you gotta stick to your guns, stick with what you know. So I love it.
Right. So playing JV baseball, you come out and you're on the JV team. We just recently started a freshman team, and I had the opportunity to get the chance to coach you in one final doubleheader. It was against apparently your former travel ball coach, Mr. Graham. Do you remember playing for him?
Yeah, I do. That's taking it way back, but no, I remember that. It was a good time. It was kind of two worlds colliding for me because I grew up playing on a lot of different travel teams, but also kind of before that playing Little League baseball at South Florida Little League. And he was always a big part of that league through coaching and taking care of the fields and everything. And also had a strong connection, obviously, to Portage Central High School. So he was, I think, along with a lot of other people, a little bit expectant that I would maybe choose Portage Central when I was kind of figuring out what school I wanted to go to for high school through school choice. And when I didn't end up going there and went to Gullink instead, people were not actually upset about it, but I just grew up playing with a lot of those guys. So, that formed a little bit of a friendly kind of rivalry that was fun, every year when I got to play those guys. So I definitely remember those games. Those were some good competitive games.
I think you made the right choice. No offense. I mean, both programs are really super strong, but I think overall, I'm glad that you chose Gull Lake because having you around was good to have you around.
Yeah, no, I have no regrets. I think it all worked out well. I enjoyed my time there so much. Like I said, the coaches were incredible, and I don't think I would have ended up, playing college ball if it wasn't for the guys I played with and the guys I got to learn from. And I met my fiance there as well, so I think it all worked out.
Oh, we'll talk about her a little bit later on. I've got a couple questions about that coming up. But yeah, so getting back to Coach Graham, a couple years later, he ended up using my name and dropping the F-bomb because I brought you down to play against them. And he was only mad because we won. And that was the only way I beat him was with you. I have a horrible, horrible track record with him. But he, I think it was your sister's year that he was talking to Coach Wartella, who's a pastor, and he said, I'm glad they got rid of that other guy, that F-bomb, because he brought you, and he just went on and kind of berated me in front of Wartella. So it's funny to hear that story, but he doesn't realize that there was like a coach between us. So like Steve Mickness coached between me and Wartella. So I don't know why he was still holding a grudge for that.
Yeah, there was I was quite the lineup of coaches you just listed off. I enjoyed getting to know all you guys. But Coach Graham was, I always considered him old school. A lot like Jim Leland, honestly, so he reminded me of. But
I think I know what you're talking about with that one.
Doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah. Yep.
Going back, your sophomore season kind of ended poorly for you. Isn't that your sophomore season when you slid into home plate at Lakeview and ended up tearing your ACL? Yeah,
that was the very last game of sophomore year, which had been a good season for the team and for me personally. And, things are kind of looking up. And then, playing a really good game against Lakeview, kind of to see who would win the conference at the end of the year. And I was catching at the time. At the time, that's what I thought I would do in college, was be a catcher. And then, kind of fate had other ideas, just to play at the plate. Nobody's fault. It was just the kid slid in, and just the way I kind of had to jump awkwardly for a ball, and when I landed, kind of had my knee planted, and just happened to slide right into it, and I didn't feel too good after that. So that definitely changed at least what I thought my trajectory was at the time. Being a catcher, never ended up really catching again after that. Doctor's orders, but luckily, I was able to eventually get healthy enough and find a new position.
It was a quick turnaround because you played your junior year, right?
I did, yeah. I missed, so I had a torn MCL and meniscus, but ended up just not doing surgery and rehabbing throughout the summer. So I missed summer ball that year, which was disappointing. But I wanted to get back and get healthy, get ready for junior year at Gull Lake. So did all I could that summer. Pushed it a little bit too quickly a couple times, which set me back. So I didn't end up getting to play any summer ball really, but then played fall ball with some Gull Lake guys and kind of got back in the swing of things, and then ended up playing my junior year, and we had a really good year. That was the year we went to state semifinals, and just a lot of good memories from that year. Like I said, didn't catch again. Ended up playing a little bit outfield, a little bit infield, kind of more of a utility role, which is fine. I didn't really care where I was at. I just loved playing and being out there with the guys. So definitely changed my path. But next year ended up being a blast, and we didn't really need another catcher at Gull Lake. We were pretty set in that area anyway.
I was going to say the competition was pretty rough.
Yeah, it was. So, at best, I was going to be a backup. So I think it all worked out in the end.
Yeah. Moving out to the outfield, you became a natural and obviously caught the eye of somebody to get you back out there. So
yeah, it's I kind of just I think it was actually good for me getting hurt. I kind of always pursued the game, really passionately and worked hard at it, but had not really gotten heavy into like the lifting side of the sport until I got hurt and had to, in order to rehab and get back to where I wanted to be. So, kind of a silver lining that came out of that is I figured out how to work hard in all areas of the game and get back on the field.
Now, didn't you end up re-injuring it jumping off a stage?
Yeah, like I said, I set myself back a couple times with a couple kind of freak injuries. One was jumping off a stage, simple enough thing, and that ended up being a torn meniscus and requiring surgery. So that one wasn't very fun. And then the other time I re-injured the other knee was I was longboarding down a hill and got going a little faster than I meant to, and that one didn't feel good either. So I had a rough stretch there for a while. So luckily, once I finally got healthy, I've kind of been able to maintain that, and nothing too serious since then.
Yeah, that's good. Going back to your junior season, you said we did have a great run. What are your memories of that season?
Yeah, man, this kind of goes throughout my whole career. I just remember the guys that I got the chance to play with, even more than anything we did on the field. I just remember being really close with that group of guys, like guys like Walter Graff, Matt Cruz, Nick Miller, just guys who I'd kind of known throughout high school and, would take that in the program, but I just got the chance to get closer to that year. And, we just kind of, we had a good team all year, and we knew that. We played well throughout conference, and then we just kind of got hot at the right time and made a good run through the playoffs. And then, didn't end up going to Michigan State to play state finals. It was a fun time. I'll never forget that. Just what a collective effort it was. I feel like the whole year we had guys step up in different ways, and just a really fun baseball team to play on.
Yeah, I remember that too. The way that everything lined up for us, and the fact that the teams that we played, every team that we played, we had beaten before going into the state semifinals. I mean, with Harper Creek coming out of the region that they did, which it was a stacked region if you looked at it, and being able to play them at Bailey Park in front of probably one of the biggest crowds that's been around there. So I unfortunately missed that game because I was in Ann Arbor with my daughter. But I was definitely watching it on our iScore cast, and I was really happy to see Jared's bomb and us winning 2-1.
Yeah, that game in particular was probably the highlight of that run for sure. Like I said, we had guys kind of step up all over, and that game it happened to be Jared. The energy in that park that night was unbelievable, and just the performances we had, defensively to keep the game low scoring, so that Jared's bomb would mean what it did. Yeah, that was awesome. You don't get the chance, especially in high school, to play in front of a crowd that big and that energetic very much. So that was definitely a very special moment for the whole team.
Now, going into your senior season, were you recruited at all?
Yeah, so my recruiting process was kind of very interesting, mainly because of my knee injuries. They kind of, just as I was starting to get in the recruiting process, my sophomore year is when I got hurt, and so not playing that summer, I didn't really get any looks, which is what I've been planning to kind of start the whole process. So that set me back a little bit, and then kind of being hurt on and off for the rest of my career kind of made it tough. I went to some camps and stuff, but never like fully healthy. So which was a little frustrating. So I talked to, various Midwest schools, about at different levels, from pretty much all of them, from NAIA to D3, D2, D1, whether it was walk-on or, scholarship, just kind of every scenario was different. And I did different visits and stuff, but it ultimately kind of came down to I was either going to go to Taylor for 4 years, and just that'd be the ride, that'd be what I would do, or I was also looking pretty heavily at Kellogg Community College. I'd grown up going to camps there, knew the coach really well, Coach Wiscovy, and had other buddies who'd gone there and enjoyed their time, and then transferred on to bigger and better places. So those are kind of the two options that it ended up coming down to for me in my senior year.
Now, looking back at your senior year, is there any specific memories that stick out?
I think senior year, we got knocked out a little earlier, getting moved up from D2 level to the D1. We ended up having to face a buzzsaw and Tommy Henry and Portage Northern in district. So, we didn't have the same postseason run. But again, I think I just, really valued the time I got to spend with the guys. It was a little bit different since we had lost the last year's senior class. It's kind of on us, and I mean, there's too many guys to name who I got close with and just had a ball playing ball with. But I mean, obviously Drew and Jared and Jarrett, Austin Napper, Caleb Scholes. I mean, we had an unbelievable group of guys. I don't know, it was some of the most fun I've ever had playing baseball. And obviously, we were still pretty good, so getting to sweep a lot of people and then have Coach Blakely take us out for ice cream was not a bad habit to get into, that's for sure.
I can honestly say that is probably one of the traditions I missed the most. Coach Walters would do it every once in a while, but Blakely, coming through for the Frosty Boy, every sweep of the doubleheader was awesome.
Hey, I mean, I get it, Coach Walters. When you have a good program, that can be an expensive thing to be doing all the time. So, but no, that was a good time. It kind of made you, I don't know, just reminds you that, we were playing a game, and obviously we wanted to play it well and did a lot of the time. But it just kind of reminds you that, we were still a bunch of kids playing a game and kind of gave it that little league feel, but in a good way, just remind you to keep having fun with it.
Thinking back to high school, and I don't know, it was the Coldwater tournament, and it was a night game, and you were playing, I believe, out in left field, and we believe that there was this route that you took that was very interesting, and the coaches sat back and kind of wondered if you were doing one of those special prom proposals where you're spelling out prom. Do you remember us making fun of you about that?
I do, yeah. I remember being a very windy night, which I think was the cause of my struggles. But yeah, I remember taking some routes that weren't exactly directly to the ball. I still caught them.
Right.
I do remember that. But yeah, I remember you guys making fun of me in a good way. But looking back, I can definitely understand why you thought I was trying to pull something out there, because it was not the smoothest game as an outfielder I've had.
She said yes, though, right?
Yeah, I was not feeling prom at that time, but when I did ask, yes, she did say yes.
That's good. Okay, so why did you pick Taylor?
Yeah, ultimately I chose Taylor just because I felt like I wanted to go somewhere for 4 years. You know, I wanted to be just totally committed and all in kind of to the whole process, and just, you know, get to play with and grow with guys, you know, throughout a 4-year process. You know, I love the coaching staff at Taylor, and just kind of what they talked about, you know, as far as player development and what their priorities were for their players and for the program. And then the school itself, you know, it's a small Christian school, kind of in the middle of nowhere, but, you know, as a student athlete, tend to be pretty busy anyway, so I didn't mind that aspect so much. But it's a great school. You know, they believe in and exemplify some great things, and academically it's a challenging school, but, you know, it's a degree that is well recognized, you know, wherever you go the rest of your life. So I think just the overall package of Taylor, you know, what they stand for, and knowing that their baseball program was very successful and a place where guys, you know, could grow and develop as men on and off the field, was just very appealing to me.
So what are you majoring in?
Majoring in sport management with a coaching minor.
Okay, so you want to coach some minors? Oh, sorry. You can
put it that.
You can boom
it that way, but
you can boo me on that one. That was an awful joke. I'll stick to just asking questions and not being funny. Sports management. That's
no. That's the Baird I love and miss. I like it.
I think I've got a lot of new dad jokes in me. So, but yeah, I picked sports management too. I'm currently going to Davenport University for sports management. So
yeah,
by the time I graduate, hopefully you're going to be big somewhere and I can jump on your coattails.
No. I'd seen that you were doing that, and I thought that was pretty cool. So hopefully we can both find a good fit. Maybe it'll end up being working together someday. That'd be an honor.
What do you plan on doing with that?
You know, still working on that. I love the game of baseball, and definitely want to stay around it. So as far as this summer goes, just planning on doing some coaching locally, maybe some training and stuff, and talking to different organizations about some different opportunities. No matter what, though, I know I want to stay around the game. It's always been my passion, and throughout my life, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah, once you get the bug, it's hard to get rid of.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
Right. I mean, it was about 10 years that I was without baseball before I got a chance to get back into it. And once I got a chance to get back into it, I believe it changed my outcome of life and my direction of life, because I switched from going to wanting to be just in business to switching to sports management. And I want to do something more along the lines of like player personnel or something like that, some baseball organizations, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I could definitely see you going into that. You've always had a knack for people in the game, so I'm glad to hear you're pursuing that.
Yep. Now, talking about Taylor, I know this isn't a baseball tradition, but you guys have a tradition there called Silent Night. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's one of, honestly, the coolest college sports traditions that I've ever seen. Lucky enough to be a part of it for 4 years, and it's a crazy thing. You really just have to see it for yourself. I know there's videos and stuff of it, you know, on ESPN and on YouTube and stuff. But essentially, it's the week of finals for the fall semester, or the week before finals. So everybody's, you know, kind of just preparing for that, studying. Everybody's kind of, stressing out and looking for something to do. And so I think the tradition started like 25, 30 years ago, where students initially just kind of dressed up in pajamas or Christmas outfits, and would attend the men's basketball game and just kind of get rowdy and, cheer loud before the start of the game. And then right at tip-off, everyone goes silent, and it's an eerie thing. You just hear kind of the sneakers squeaking on the floor, the shots going up, the team's kind of communicating, but otherwise there's no sound. It sounds like a practice in a gym, even though there's, like 5,000 people packed in this little gym. And so anyway, when our team scores a 10th point, we just go nuts. It's like we hit a buzzer beater. We rush the court. There's music playing. People are screaming and yelling, jumping up and down. And that lasts probably, 5 minutes or something. And they know it's coming, at this point now. So, there's like a built-in timeout. They make sure the teams get off the floor, nobody gets hurt. But it's grown, though. Now people, pull off all kinds of crazy outfits when they come. Whole dorms will kind of have a theme that they'll come dressed as, and it's crazy. And then at the end of the game, at the closing minute, everybody kind of puts their arms around each other, and we sing Silent Night. And that's kind of the only sound in the gym other than basketball playing. So it's just a super unique thing. But it's the energy in that building. Once we score the 10th point, we kind of go crazy and don't stop going crazy till the end of the game. So it's a really fun thing to be a part of. Now,
you got to participate in your last one. What was that like?
Yeah, it was different, the last one. You kind of come in freshman year and you've heard about this crazy event you do, and you kind of look forward to it for a while and finally get to experience it, and then you look forward to it next year. So having the last one this year was a little bit different. Just kind of trying to enjoy every part of it, and because it's something you can come back and see, but there's nothing like kind of being right there front and center. And the baseball team we have a really good relationship with the basketball team, always support them, and we've always kind of been front and center, right at half court, courtside seats every year for this game and for every game. So, getting to kind of be right in the middle of the action, one of the first ones to rush the court when we score that 10th point is really special.
Now, what was it like adjusting to college life?
Yeah, it is different, but, I enjoy it. Like I said, I dual enrolled at Kellogg Community College while also taking classes at Go Lake High School. So class-wise, I kind of had already had an idea of what that looked like, which was helpful. And, playing baseball allowed me to, kind of come in and immediately meet some guys and kind of form friendships right away, which kind of helped me be more comfortable. So, college is kind of what you make it. That's kind of the nice part about it, is the freedom you have to pursue different things you want to and kind of spend your time a little bit more the way you like. So, I mean, it was a great time, and I've enjoyed my 4 years. They definitely flew by way quicker than I could have imagined.
What was it like having less roommates?
Not bad. I've had some awesome roommates throughout my time here. Kind of, friends that'll definitely be lifelong, and not looking forward to having to say goodbye here soon. But it's been a fun time.
Now you're talking about your time management. Was it difficult to figure out what to spend your time on?
I wouldn't say difficult as much as you just kind of learn how to use your time wisely. And that you have to make adjustments depending on what time of year it is, season wise, and what kind of classes you're taking. But definitely a challenge. To be a student athlete, I enjoyed it for sure. But I think you definitely have to be, kind of more intentional with how you spend your time. Obviously, baseball is a priority, and put a lot of time and hard work and effort into that, and equally so is school. So just finding the right balance between those two, as well as friendships and relationships, and doing fun things around campus. It's definitely a lot, and there's stuff you gotta kind of learn to say no to, which can be a challenge. But I enjoy kind of having just the schedule of one thing to another. I think I would get pretty bored if I didn't have things kind of keeping me on track. So.
So you didn't play a lot of Guitar Hero when you went to college?
Not a ton, not a ton. No, I mean, I made time, for sure for all kinds of activities that had nothing to do with school or baseball, and had plenty of fun while I'm here. But didn't play a lot of Guitar Hero. Man, Guitar Hero was my middle school thing. I think that's what I was into.
Right. I only mentioned Guitar Hero because of the picture that I found of you playing Guitar Hero.
You found? Oh yeah. I mean, that was how I lost children. I don't know how you found that one, but the internet, I guess, stuff gets on there.
Yeah, you never post a picture unless you want everyone to see it.
Well, that's not the problem. The problem is the pictures that people post of you. You know, that's the one that's a little tougher to control. So.
Right. That's true. That's what I'm always worried about. We're worried about posting pictures of other people. If that's something that, if I wouldn't want myself being seen doing this, I definitely wouldn't want to put something else out there.
Yeah, no, it's a harmless picture. I know the one you're talking about. That's a throwback for sure. I'm probably 12 in that one, but I was jamming out.
So I make like a profile picture for like a poster for the podcast and usually use pre-approved pictures. I was thinking about using that one, but I think I might use a more recent one with the facial hair that you got going on. I was looking at your team photo on the website today, and looks pretty grown up.
Yeah, I tried to grow some facial hair in high school, but I think it ended up looking more of kind of a dirt stash than anything else. So luckily, since then, I've been able to grow a beard and maybe look a little more my age. But yeah, you're welcome to use whatever one you'd like.
All right. Now, what conference do you guys play in?
We play in the Crossroads League Conference. It includes teams from Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan, and high schools, of like 2,000 to 5,000 student body in size.
What schools do you play?
Again, we play Spring Arbor. The team in Ohio is Mount Vernon, Nazarene, and then in Indiana we play like Indiana Wesleyan, Huntington University, Goshen College, Grace College, Bethel. Just a bunch of small schools similar to our size. Tend to be religious schools, but not necessarily. It's not like a requirement or anything. So it's fun. It's a big enough conference to allow us to travel a little bit and kind of get that feel, but also, have plenty of teams in the conference to kind of, keep the competition mixed up and not have to play the same people too much. Now,
did you ever play against Caleb McPherson?
I did, yeah. I did. I got to twice, actually. I don't know if I can remember how my bees went off of, but I do remember playing them a couple times, yeah. That was a fun experience.
Yeah, so just to fill everybody in, Caleb McPherson was a Gull Lake graduate. He went on to play college at Bethel. So when you said Bethel, I'm like, it popped in my head that I wonder if you guys played against each other.
Yeah. He was a good pitcher for them. Always competed really well, and it was fun getting to play with him in high school and then getting to play against him. Got the chance to do that with a few different guys, which was pretty cool.
Who else did you play against that you knew?
Yeah, I got to play against Walter Graff when he was at Aquinas, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, got to play against him, which was fun. I think he was pitching for them at the time. I know he walked me on a full count that he thought was a strike.
Do you mention that to him every time you see him?
Yeah, and he mentions it as well. He's like, I caught that outside corner, and I was like, well, the umpire doesn't agree, so I don't know what to tell you, Walt. But yeah, that was fun. It's always a cool opportunity when you get to not just see your friends playing at the next level, but actually get to compete against them after playing with them for so many years in high school, and in some cases even before that. So I always enjoyed that part of the game.
Now, what's the farthest team you play?
In our conference, or just like in general?
Let's go in general.
I mean, we traveled a lot. We had a good team, so we got the opportunity to play a lot of other good teams, whether in the non-conference regular season or in the postseason. So the farthest team, we played the last postseason. We played a team from Oklahoma. We would go to Georgia and Tennessee, Kentucky to play a lot of the really good non-conference games. Played some teams from Alabama, South Carolina. That's where a lot of the really good NAIA teams tend to be from Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee area. So we would always go down there early season, play some ranked opponents and get some really good competitive games in. And I would tend to see a lot of those same teams later in the postseason as well. So I'd say the farthest team would probably be from Georgia, Georgia or Oklahoma.
Now, how did you guys travel?
By bus. Yeah.
What was that like?
It was fun. A very kind of minor league baseball feel to it. Long hours on a bus is really nothing to say. But you just kind of get used to it. I was lucky enough to play a lot of college games and play a lot of summer ball games where I got the chance to travel to some cool places and play some good teams. And I loved it. A lot of guys kind of hate the grind of all the 12, 14-hour bus rides, but I love it. Just the opportunity it gave me to play at some awesome ballparks and face some great competition. And there's something about bus rides. You kind of do what you want with them. Some guys sleep and watch a movie or something, but you can play cards. You can get to know guys better. You can play pranks on guys. There's a lot of things you can do with 14 hours on a cramped bus. So it's kind of part of the whole experience, but I loved it.
Now, how did you spend your time?
All the above. All the above. I would do anything from sleep to beat up on some people in euchre to read, occasionally, try to do some homework on the bus. Just kind of all kinds of different stuff, whatever the moment required.
So you said euchre. Did a lot of your teammates know what euchre was, or did you have to teach them?
Pretty good amount. It seems to be, from what I can tell, a Midwest game. A lot of my teammates from Indiana knew the game, but some guys some of our Florida guys or some guys from Tennessee or Georgia, Texas, they didn't really know euchre as much. So, but the Ohio and Indiana guys, and obviously Michigan guys, kind of do the game. So it's an easy enough game to pass on. Right.
Now, where did you guys go for spring break?
Spring break this year, we actually had conference games, so we did not travel anywhere. We had some home games. We're blessed enough to have a turf infield along with lights, which is pretty unique for a school our size. We have just fantastic facilities, so because of that, we were able to get games in at home when a lot of other teams were not able to at that time of year. Which was honestly fun. There's really nothing better than playing at home if you have a great home field. So,
what is it like playing on turf?
It's different. Ball tends to just come off of it faster. I ended up being an outfielder, but I came in as kind of a utility player and more so of an infielder. So I got plenty of reps on that turf infield. Definitely comes off the bat and off the turf faster than a normal infield. So it takes a little bit of adjustment. But like I said, especially in a northern school, early spring, you're able to get a lot of games in when other teams have flooded infield. So I enjoyed it.
So Ashton joined you down in Taylor. Now, did you get a family discount for her coming down?
I think there actually might be some kind of discount, if that's what you want to call it, in place for when multiple kids go to the same school. Yeah. But she is far smarter than I am, and obviously a better athlete. So I'm sure she got a much better scholarship than I did.
So what was it like having your sister down in college with you?
It's cool. Like I said, we've always been close, and I never really expected to go to the same school as her. It was never something we had talked about, and I never, pressured her into it or anything. It just ended up being, a good opportunity for her, just like it was for me, and she had other opportunities as well. But it was the one that she decided on, and so far she's loved it. So it was cool. We hung out occasionally, kept in touch, and obviously I was, there for her if she ever needed anything, but also tried to give her space and let her enjoy the experience on her own. She didn't come to college to have another parent, so I tried to give her all the space she needed, but it was definitely cool to have her around, and more than that, to actually get to watch some of her games. She switched to softball as a junior in high school, and since I was already at college, I didn't get to see many of her games, so getting a chance to see her play a new sport has been really enjoyable.
That's good. She hasn't brought any boyfriends around to get your approval?
Not yet. I think she's very wisely waiting till I graduate and get out of here to do that. So save herself and the guys and Ruth.
I was looking at your bio on the website, and it lists all the great things that you've done, and it doesn't mention anything about Ashton going to Taylor. But if you look at her bio, it mentions you for going to Taylor. So it's kind of interesting to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say there's nothing more to that than I guess I led the way. But I know the athletic department did a video sports piece on her this year, and just kind of her journey from growing up playing baseball to now playing softball, and she was definitely the star of that interview, so as she should be.
I'll have to check that out. Do you know the link right offhand?
I don't. They may still be putting the finishing touches on it. I know they just interviewed her recently, so
okay.
I'm not sure if it's done yet or not, but yeah. So
it's a good possibility of getting her in the Baird Cave too.
Yeah, you should. She definitely has a very unique perspective, like you said, you spent some time around her. She's one of the nicest people you ever meet, and she's actually, I don't give her credit for this to her face, but she's actually one of the funniest people I know as well.
That kind of hurts a little bit. I'm just
kidding.
Hey,
you're up there too.
All right, sweet. Fishing for compliments. There we go. All right, let's talk a little bit about your playing career. So your sophomore season, you were named Honorable Mention Crossroads League. Is that really kind of your breakout year, or do you think your junior season was a big year too? You started all 60 games of that year. You improved on your 2017 breakout campaign with new career highs of a .323 batting average, 72 runs, 15 doubles, 3 triples, and 25 steals. You were rated 7th in the NAIA and at 1st in the Crosso League for total runs scored. You led the Trojans in at-bats, runs, triples, and home runs. And you led the Trojans in outfield assists by a wide margin. That year, you were honored as a Crossroad League Gold Glove recipient and selected to the All-Crossroad League. Is there anything you can't do?
There's plenty I couldn't do that I wish I could have to add on to that. No, it was like I said, it was my career here was really special, and honestly, not because of anything I was able to do, but really the guys I got to know here on the team. There's really nothing like playing college ball, especially if you get the chance to spend 4 years with your class, the guys that kind of stick it out the whole way, and the stuff we were able to accomplish as a team. We went to 2 opening round, the national tournament, one in Savannah, Georgia, and then one we got to host actually. So those are things that kind of stick with me more than anything I was able to do personally. It was just kind of the heights we were able to reach as a team and the relationships I was able to form with the guys.
Now, did you play any summer baseball?
I did, yeah. So after my freshman year at Taylor, I just came home and actually got a cool opportunity to play with a bunch of guys I'd kind of grown up playing with, but I hadn't got to play with recently. I actually played a little bit of summer ball with the Midwest Athletics baseball team, with Drew, Tommy, Max, the whole crew. So that was a fun opportunity kind of to play with guys I hadn't got to play with since Little League, and obviously a bunch of really good baseball players. So that was a fun summer. And then I also went to play in a league in Ohio after my sophomore year with one of my teammates from Taylor. Played and worked in Columbus, Ohio with him, which, wasn't my favorite time to be in football-wise, but it was a good time. It was a good summer. And then last year I had played in Prospect League. I played out in Hannibal, Missouri which with another teammate, which is a really fun opportunity. That was it's essentially like the Northwoods League. So we played, I think, 60 games in like 66 days or something. So it was very similar to kind of like a minor league grind, but it was a good time. We played in front of big crowds every night and played some really, really good competition. So a lot of fun opportunities in summer ball that I was blessed with.
Now, your senior season just wrapped up. How do you feel it went?
Yeah, we went 38-18. So I think there's a lot of teams in the country that would love to have that kind of record. And we had some good ranked wins and definitely some highlights of the season. But ultimately, we're a team that expects a lot of ourselves. We expect to win conference every year and go play a national tournament. And we came out just short on both of those this year. So, that was a little bit of disappointment, but I was proud of the way we played. We had a lot of young guys step up, a lot of freshmen that, normally, freshmen don't have to step up and play or pitch huge innings, and we had guys do both. And then we had a lot of older guys fill important roles, and we had a lot of, especially senior guys, who obviously put 4 years of their life into this and kind of go through some injuries and stuff, which was tough. But yeah, just to see him fight through that and keep playing for the team and for the guys around him. So it was some unique challenges this year, but we still had a great season. And I look back with no regrets. I know me and the guys I played with left it all out there, and you can live with that.
That's a great thing to say, leaving it all out there. It goes by quickly. Like you said, you just got done with high school, and next thing you know, you're done with college. Do you have any plans after college?
Yeah, like I said, as far as this summer goes, coaching and stuff, stay around the game. I had, obviously the thought of continuing to play is always there. I haven't officially hung up the cleats yet. I have a couple opportunities that, might take advantage of, might not. I'm kind of coming off a shoulder injury that I'm trying to get healthy right now, so we'll see. But not officially hanging up the cleats, but definitely gonna stay around the game this summer and kind of see where that takes me. And then in the fall, another big step, get married and see where that takes me as well. So
I was going to say, you're engaged right now, and we spoke about it earlier. Who are you engaged to?
I am engaged to the beautiful, talented Kylie McLuhan, who I was fortunate enough to get to meet in high school, actually, at Gull Lake. So obviously another reason that Gull Lake was definitely the right choice.
So how'd you guys meet?
We met at a first day of summer, last day of school, whatever you want to call it, party at the end of my sophomore year that my best friend Jarrett White dragged me to. I didn't really have an interest in going. School and baseball had just ended, and I just hurt my knee, so I was kind of trying to focus on getting that healthy. And he was like, "No, you should come," and ended up being a good choice because
she felt sorry for you?
Pretty girl yeah, well, she probably did feel sorry for me walking around on crutches, but no, this pretty girl walked in, and I guess the rest is history. So
nice. Do you remember your first date?
I do. It was to a baseball field, of course. It was to watch one of my younger siblings play a game because that's, like I said, I wasn't playing myself that summer, so that's kind of what I was doing with my summer. And I dragged her to one of those games, and I guess luckily she is a huge baseball fan herself, so she didn't mind that being our first date. Nice.
How did you pop the question?
The marriage proposal?
Yes.
It was a surprise. I always wanted to be a surprise. So she was back home in Michigan this past fall doing some stuff with her family, and I was still at school. Our fall ball season was just wrapping up. So she thought that I had a scrimmage that weekend and was going to be busy with that all day. And which was true, but it got done earlier than the time I told her it did. So she had a friend who she wanted to take out to South Haven, which was a spot we spent a lot of time. We both love the beach and just love that area out there. So we spent a lot of time out there in high school and since then. So I had her, kind of her friend suggest that Kelly take her out there and show her around. And then, meanwhile, I was driving up from Indiana and drove straight to South Haven and walked out on the pier and waited for her to walk out there. And when she did, she was very surprised to see me, and she was even more surprised to, see me get down on a knee. So the whole thing went off pretty much without a hitch, just like it wanted to. Our families were both able to be there and watch, and it was a special moment for sure.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've gone on almost 9 years coming up pretty soon. So I remember exactly the day that happened. You obviously had permission first, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I did it right. I asked her dad first if I could date her way back when we were 16, and I didn't know nothing, I knew nothing then, and I still don't know anything, but I asked him again for her hand in marriage. So lucky to have met her, and her family's great as well, and her dad and I have a great relationship, so I wouldn't have thought about asking her without asking him first.
That's good. Gotta love tradition. Yeah. So when's the date?
Yeah, the date is September 15th, so it's coming up quick here, but we've been making all the preparations and kind of enjoying the process. That's
cool. Now, did she pick out her engagement ring, or did you pick it out for her?
I actually picked it out. Pretty unique situation. I knew I kind of knew what she liked. I had an idea of, what I wanted it to look like. And then I was blessed to have both my grandmother and her grandmother, who have good relationships with both, but was not expecting this from either. Just out of the blue, they both offered me family diamonds that they were not using and wanted me to have, which was really special, so I graciously accepted and had those put together on one ring, and more special than anything I could have purchased. Family's very important to both of us, so kind of the legacy of that is something that is really cool and that I'm happy I was able to pull off.
That's really cool. I made the mistake of letting her pick her ring out, and she knew that I had it, so she kind of kept pressing me to, just finally get it done with. She's very introverted, and which is weird because I'm so totally extroverted that I don't know why she would be attracted to me, but she's so introverted.
That's how it goes.
Right. And she doesn't like being surprised. So she gave me a list of stipulations of things I cannot do. And so pretty much she basically laid down the plan of how I was gonna ask her, and she just kept asking, when are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? So I'm like, She's like, you got the ring, just do it already. I'm like, but I'm waiting. I wanted to wait till her birthday, but she didn't want it on her birthday because she's already embarrassed that it's her birthday. So it was, and she didn't. I asked her parents at her dad's birthday party, and she didn't want it on her dad's birthday because that would take away from his birthday. So finally at 12:01 that night, I asked her. So
I love it.
So technically it wasn't her dad's birthday. So
yep, there you go. Whatever you got to do to keep them on their toes, I guess. But yeah, it's a special thing for sure, and it was not something I ever thought I would get to be blessed with this early in life, but looking forward to it.
You got all the wedding plans done, or still a lot of things to do?
Mostly done. We took care of the big stuff. I was obviously focused on the baseball season, but tried to help out as much as I could, and I'm how it goes. I'm kind of just there for opinions, whether they're used or not. So just try to be there and be helpful, but ultimately obviously she's making most of the calls, so it's been a fun process. So we have all kinds of friends and family who are excited for us and being incredibly helpful, and we're both the oldest child in our family, so it's kind of the first go around of this for each family, so everybody's very excited and very helpful.
Yeah, I can remember it was definitely stressful, but again, I was just like you. I was there for opinion if needed, but I think it went well.
Yeah.
We got lucky and got married on the baseball field, so that was fun.
I know. I've seen that. I love that. I don't think that's quite how ours is going to go down, but I respect the move for sure.
Right. All right. Well, now it's time for the fun segment of the show, a chance to get to know the other side of Wyatt Whitman. Now, is there any special talents that you have?
Special talent, man. I mean, still something to do with athletics, but I'm a really good spike ball player, I guess.
What?
Spike ball?
What is that?
Coach, oh man, I'll have to show you this summer. That's a good game.
Do you have to be athletic to do it? Because if it is, I can't play it.
No, I bet you can still do it. It's kind of a yard game.
Okay.
You know, kind of like cornhole or something like that.
Okay, that's more my style. If it doesn't, just like basketball, if it just involves shooting without jumping, running, or dribbling, I'm good at that. If I'm standing still and not doing anything, I'm great.
Yeah, okay. Well, we should get together and play some cornhole then.
All right. If they made a movie about you, who would star in it?
Ooh, that's a good one. Trying to think of my favorite actor. I'm going to go with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Nice.
One of my favorite actors. We don't necessarily look alike, but he's a lot better looking than I am, so it can't hurt.
Right. He'd definitely have to bulk up for the role.
Yeah, something like that.
Who would play your love interest?
Love interest. Well, it would have to be auburn hair. So, well, okay. If I was picking my favorite actress, I would have to say Blake Lively.
Well, that's a good one too. Wow, those are two people I wouldn't put together in a sentence. I haven't thought about them in a long time.
Yeah, be a good movie, I think.
Yeah, it would be. If you can go back in time and observe any event in history without changing the outcome, what would it be?
Oof, wow. See, I'm a big fan of history, so that's a tough one. There's a lot of things I would choose from, but since we talked about baseball a lot, I think I would go back and watch, see if Babe Ruth really did call a shot.
Oh, the infamous shot against the Cubs? Was it the Cubs or the White Sox?
Honestly, I can't even tell you that. All I ever hear people talk about is, him calling a shot. I don't know. I think he did, but, I'd love to go back and watch.
Sorry, I'm looking it up right now. Let's see who he called it. So it was in the fifth inning of Game 3 of the 1932 World Series against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. So it's nice to be able to stop time real quick to check and see what's going on as far as.
Yep.
So now we know it was against the Cubs, and I was correct with my first instinct. So yeah, that would have been a great one.
Yeah.
Just to be back when Wrigley Field was still in probably decent shape.
Right, exactly. Back in its prime. Yeah, so not a bad place to catch a ball game either. So I'll stick with that. I think that'd be a pretty cool thing to go back and see.
All right, if you could meet any celebrity, who would it be?
I would say Derek Jeter, but I've actually gotten a chance to meet him a couple times.
How did that happen?
His foundation, Turn 2 Foundation, puts on camps for kids in the Kalamazoo area, and I grew up going to all of them from, I don't know, like 6 to 12 or so, and as soon as I was done with them, like participating in them, I started coaching them from 14 till I graduated high school. So anyway, through those, he would occasionally make an appearance at them, and kind of just meet kids and shake hands and stuff like that. So that was a cool opportunity. But somebody I haven't met, so many good ones. I think I'm trying to pick somebody smart, somebody to learn some wisdom from.
You already met me.
I know, right? So it's like, what else is there to learn at this point?
What not to do?
Yeah, I'll go with actually somebody who would tell a lot of good stories. I'll go with Tim Kirchin.
Who?
The ESPN baseball writer, reporter.
Oh, okay. Why am I not remembering who he is right now? I'm sure I know who he is.
He's kind of like a little guy, wears always like wears a suit, and they always cut to him for some random baseball fact because he's been around the game for 50 years. I've read some of his books, and I enjoy his interviews, and I think he would have some stories that you wouldn't hear anywhere else. So I think that'd be a cool guy to meet.
Oh yeah, I know who he is now. I had to see a photo of him first before.
Yeah, see a face.
Yeah.
Yep.
I tend to mostly just see the faces and not know who they are. But yeah, looking at his photo, I know who he is now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
First celebrity crush.
First celebrity crush. This is way back, but Mary-Kate Olsen, the Olsen twins, taking it.
Just Mary-Kate,
not way back.
Not Ashley. You didn't throw the other one in, or just one?
I think I don't know. They're twins. I forget which one I likes better, but I think I had a favorite. But we'll just say both of them, I guess.
There you go. I did not know her. Is it her younger sister or older sister is in the Marvel movies?
I know. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. They're which one is that? I've heard that before. I'm not sure which one it is, but I know their appearance has definitely changed since the time I'm talking about.
Right. I'm looking it up too, so definitely taking the.
I love it. No facts left unsure.
I'm taking the fact that I can use the computer right next to me. What is her name? Her name?
Beauty of technology.
Right. I'm trying to figure out her name. It's not Nebula, not Star-Lord. Who did she play?
Oh, she played I know who you mean. She played the Red Witch lady.
Elizabeth Olsen is.
Yeah, I know the character. I just can't think of her name.
Okay, so she's the younger sister of Mary-Kate and Ashley, and she plays.
Yep. She hangs out with the Vision guy.
Yeah, I know. I can't think of her. Scarlet Witch. She plays Scarlet Witch. There we go. I can piece that together and make it sound like we're intelligent. So. Right.
Okay, yeah, that was
brutal.
A tough stretch, but we made it through.
There we go. All right. Okay. Any songs on your playlist that you might be embarrassed if I got a chance to look at them?
Man, you're coming with the hard-hitting questions here. I don't know. I listen to all kinds of different music. Probably some throwback country that would be pretty funny. Maybe, I don't know, like some Shania Twain maybe is on there.
Don't be embarrassed to say Shania Twain. I just went and saw her in concert a couple months back, and she's still rocking.
I'm not embarrassed. I think maybe people will be surprised. I mean, I could definitely belt out some of her older songs. So
especially "Man, I Feel Like a Woman."
Yeah, that's a classic, of course.
I heard that's your go-to karaoke song.
Well, just because I know the lyrics doesn't mean I should sing. That is not one of my talents. I was not blessed musically, unfortunately, but I do love music, so I would give it my best shot.
Right. Now, is there any movies or TV shows that you watch that you do in secret?
In secret, not really. I mean, I don't know. I love them. I guess the one I watched that probably wouldn't tell my parents I watched is Game of Thrones. It's a great series, but it's definitely pretty graphic. But no, I mean, I don't know, I like all kinds of different shows. Yeah, don't really watch any of them in secret, I guess. Just enjoy the classics, The Office and Friends or How I Met Your Mother, Parks and Rec, all the good comedies.
I've never watched Parks and Recreation, but I've watched every other thing. Well, except for I'm not a Game of Thrones fan either. I've not gotten into that one. So, but yeah, everything else you mentioned is pretty awesome. Yeah,
no, I definitely, we talked about the long bus rides earlier, and definitely a good place to catch up on some good shows. So I did a lot of that as well on those long travels.
So there's nothing that your fiance makes you watch that you don't really want to tell anybody else,
No, we either just watch stuff together or, she doesn't really, I mean, she watches like, Grey's Anatomy or something, but she doesn't make me watch that with her, luckily. So,
Yeah, you lucked out on that one.
nothing crazy. First of all, I don't have a ton of time, especially during spring to watch a lot of TVs and movies, but I'd say I'm pretty well in line with the rest of the culture as far as that goes. Big Marvel fan, of course, big Star Wars fan. So
have you seen Endgame
all the
yet?
typical stuff. Yeah, I went twice on the opening weekend actually.
Oh well, I've watched all the Avengers movies now, but I have not seen Endgame yet, and I'm trying to schedule in 3 hours of my life where I can actually sit and watch that.
Yeah, it's a lot, especially if you've invested your time into the other, like you said, like the other 20 Marvel movies ahead of it. It's an emotional roller coaster. You gotta be prepared, not just time wise, but be prepared for a good story.
That's good. That's good. I did not like the way that Infinity War ended, so I'm hoping that at least there's a pickup before it lets us back down again.
Yeah, it's I won't give you any spoilers or anything. I'll let you enjoy it. But I thought it was a satisfying wrap up. So it seems like they're smashing every box office record. So I think people overall definitely enjoyed it. So you should get to see it soon.
Right. I watched.
Well worth it.
Well worth it. I watched Captain Marvel, and I think that's what hooked me on everything else to go backwards.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, they've done a good job with it. I kind of grew up as a kid a DC fan, so like Batman, Superman. So for me, it's a little bit disappointing to see a different comic do what I wish my favorite comic book heroes would have good movies like that. But I'm glad that A series has done it well.
I was going to ask you if you were a DC or Marvel fan, but you obviously just answered that for me.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I was always a DC fan, but other than the that Batman trilogy, they've struggled recently. So maybe they'll figure it out eventually.
Right. They're going to have to do something because they're getting killed.
Yeah, and it's not looking any better either. I mean, as far as I can tell, Marvel's going to keep rolling out movies as long as we keep spending tickets on them. So
right, like I keep telling my listeners, if you keep listening, I'll keep making it. So if you keep watching them, they'll keep making them.
Yep.
You don't want to get rid of that cash cow.
Yep. It's all about getting content out there. So I respect it.
Now, do you have any specific pregame playlists that you listen to pump you up?
Not specifically. Like I said, I enjoy all kinds of music. So I think maybe as a freshman, I would have had a different answer. I kind of in high school and probably freshman year of college, I would kind of listen to rap or something, kind of to get pumped up for a game. But the older I got, I kind of realized that there's not really a point to getting really pumped up, 2-3 hours before a baseball game. So I've kind of changed, and if I have the choice, I'd prefer to listen to probably just some country music or something, during warm-ups and just kind of stay relaxed, and kind of get a little bit more pumped up closer to game time.
Did you have any weird pregame rituals or routines?
I mean, as a team, we kind of had this. We would always kind of get all position players out in the outfield along the foul line, and we would all kind of run a pattern together pregame, like right before the game started. We'd run a pattern, and then we would kind of all huddle up, and somebody would give some kind of speech, whether it be funny or pump up or something. So nothing. I mean, there were some weird things said in that huddle for sure, but other than that, pregame thing, nothing too weird. I was never like extremely suspicious or anything, so didn't have to put my socks on in the same order or anything like that.
There's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
There's not. I get it. I will say I still never step on a foul line. So it's not that I didn't prescribe to any of them. I wasn't obsessive about it, I guess.
Right.
But some of them I stuck to.
I noticed that pitchers are a little bit more obsessive than positional players are.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well, especially lefties. And pitchers are weird. That's if I learned one thing in college, it's that pitchers are a bizarre breed. But I get it. They have a lot of time on their hands, so they kind of have to figure out stuff to do. And typically, it's pretty weird, but I love them anyways.
Now, Gatorade or Powerade?
Gatorade.
What's your go-to flavor?
Any blue shade of flavor, any of the blue colors. It doesn't really matter if it's G1 or G2. I'll drink it. So it's probably not as good as water, but I tell myself it is anyway.
Right. Now, I know since you have a turf field that you guys weren't allowed to use seeds or eat seeds or gum. Did you have any, were you a seeds or a gum guy?
Seeds guy, yeah. So luckily our outfield was still natural grass, so I was able to choose seeds out there. And then obviously, summer ball and stuff. So, big seeds guy for sure.
What flavor?
I would mix it up a lot. I'd never get 2 bags in a row, but I'd say my favorite bag actually, and I don't know if they make this all the time, but my favorite bag was Taco Bell flavor.
The Supreme?
Taco Bell Supreme. I don't know if they're still making it, but they did.
Yes, they are.
Time. Okay. Well, I can't find it everywhere. It's not down here where I'm at, so I would only get it on road trips and stuff, and I have to kind of stock up on it. But that's those are probably my favorite.
We see that a lot in the dugout, and there's dill pickle, a lot of sizzling bacon, which is one of my favorites, and there's
some classics.
A sweet and salty and a sweet and spicy out now. I'm hooked on the sweet and salty.
Yep. Yeah, those are good as well. I've tried them all, and actually the only ones I dislike are the original. Those are the only ones I won't eat. But I'd say another they used to make, and they stopped for a time. They might have brought it back, but it wasn't the same. But the Jim Beam barbecue.
Okay, I remember that one too.
That was my favorite in high school.
Nice.
For sure.
Nice. Now, do you like wearing your pant legs up or down?
Oh, up. Absolutely. Always have.
Okay. Showing off the calves?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if there's a lot to show off, but I just I like the look, kind of the classic look, timeless baseball look, and I don't know. It made you look fast, even if you weren't,
So there's a little bit of a kind of a loaded question with that, and I asked it innocently the first time, and then Blakely pointed it out when I did it, that when I ask people if they like to wear their pant legs up or down, they usually say, oh yeah, I like to wear my pants down. So they like playing with their pants down. And when he replayed that to me, and he actually, he recorded that clip from me talking with Tommy Henry, and he sent it to Tommy. And just the fact that he told me about it, ever since that he told me about it, I've been trying to get other people to do it. So I was hoping you were going to bite and say that you like playing with your pants down, but now everybody's going to be up on what I'm trying to do. So.
I love it. No, that doesn't surprise me. That's definitely something that Drew and Tommy would get a laugh out of. So, no, luckily I dodged that question by being a classic guy, I guess. So, I've worn them up since Little League, so never changed.
See, I did the same thing. I always liked wearing them up like that, but in high school, all the other teammates they were getting mad at me for doing it. I said, why are you getting mad at me for doing it? Well, we're all doing it this way. I said, why be different? My pants are short enough. Let me just bring them up. I did not have a baseball body, so the uniforms weren't made for me anyways, so let me have a little fun with it. So
Right. Yeah, if the pants already fit like you're expecting a flood, you might as well just take them the rest of the way up.
If you could have one job the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, man. I mean, just anything with baseball. I mean, either playing it or being as close to it as possible. So I don't know, just maybe just a bench manager or something. Just anything that keeps me around the game, around the field.
Nice. Now, are you a Nike or Adidas fan?
Nike, for sure.
Is that what Taylor is?
Yeah, Taylor is a Nike school, but even before that, I was a Nike guy. Tried Adidas cleats one time and played in the rain, and then they fell apart on me. So that was my one experiment. Other than that, I've been checks over stripes my whole life.
That's funny you say that. DH or no DH? Sport of baseball is better with a DH, or do you not want to have a DH?
I mean, I actually like where it's at. Like I like having both. I think for the casual fan who wants more scoring, like obviously having another professional hitter in the lineup is better. And there's been a lot of great DHs in the league, and obviously they're fun to watch. But I don't know. I mean, there's nothing quite like watching a pitcher hit. Noah Syndergaard just do that complete game shutout and then hit a solo home run for the only run of the game. 1-1-0. So, I mean, that's something that usually happens in the Little League. So, for him to still get the opportunity to do that in professional baseball and win a game like that, kind of essentially win the game by himself, I think that's pretty cool to see too. So I like that there's a little bit of both in the league right now.
I'm pretty sure that he has more home runs than Miguel Cabrera does.
Yeah, the Tigers and home runs are not really a great pair right now. I was watching them play today, and they won, but they're offensively not exactly the biggest home run team in the league right now.
Yeah, I looked it up. He is currently at 1 home run. So a pitcher is beating him right now.
Yeah, we still love Miggy anyway, but maybe don't love that contract so much, but he's still a lovable player. So, coming off that bicep injury, that's tough. I mean, I've had my share of injuries, and I know that they're all uniquely challenging. And I'm sure at the major league level, having that type of injury cannot be easy to come back from. So hopefully he finds that power again.
Now, do you have a favorite sports movie?
Yeah, easily. The Natural.
Nice.
Yeah, not a lot of people know what I'm talking about when I name that one, but that's always been my favorite.
Did you name your bat?
Iconic final scene. What?
Did you name your bat?
I did not name my bat, but I do have a replica of that bat. I was in Cooperstown one time and saw a replica of the bat from the movie, and I had to get it.
That brings me to my next question. Is there anything special that you collect?
Not at this point in my life. Growing up, I collected baseballs. I mean, I collected cards too, kind of like every kid. But more so, I collected baseballs from every, park and team I went to. And I still have it, somewhere. I probably had like 100 baseballs at kind of the point when I kind of stopped doing it. But no, I don't really collect anything right now. Kind of got a little too busy, I guess, playing the game to keep collecting stuff. But maybe I'll get back into it.
There you go. If you're on your own, what is your go-to meal to cook?
Cereal.
There we go. I like it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'd say I have average cooking skills for a American male, but I don't know. I mean, probably just depends on, I guess, the supplies I have, but probably just grill up a good steak or something. Not too difficult, but something pretty good. But yeah, if I'm in a rush and don't have the supplies, I'll just quick bowl of cereal and get on with the day.
What's your go-to cereal?
I try to eat, some healthier cereals typically. But man, if I could just choose one, probably tie between Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles.
Nice. I love the milk you get afterwards. It's like an extra.
Right. A little chocolate milk if you have some Cocoa Pebbles.
Now, what is your favorite hangout place?
You mean like at school or just in general?
At school. Where do you guys hang out a lot?
I mean, we tend to be pretty busy, but typically just kind of hang out either at the student center in the middle of campus or hang out, in an apartment with, some teammates and friends or something. Like I said, the school's kind of in the middle of nowhere down here, so I don't know. We tend to keep it pretty low key. Unfortunately, there's no beaches around. That's where I would spend all my time if we were near one. So it's probably for the best. But
You said you were in the middle of nowhere. I was driving down to Indianapolis to meet up with Steve Mickness and watch a Pacers game with him, and I passed the exit where it said Taylor University. I said, man, if I had Wyatt's number, I'd definitely try to kidnap him and take him with me. That'd have been an interesting
Yeah.
game, Pacers game.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Yeah, it's we're right off of I-69 and just out here in the middle of cornfields. So it's it's not a bad drive from home, but it's not the most interesting drive either.
Right. What's the clubhouse like?
Like your building itself.
Yeah, your locker room. What's your locker room like?
I'd say it's a pretty average locker room. I mean, they're in the process of building a new one right now. Of course, all the cool stuff comes once you leave, but no, it's cool. We have we all have our own space with our lockers, and then we have a big flash screen in there. We'll, when it's March, we'll watch some March Madness games in there. We got some big speakers and stuff. So after a big win or something, we'll blast some music and have a good time. Nothing super interesting. We don't have a ping pong table on this one, but I'm hearing that they might put one in the new one. So, but we typically don't spend a ton of time in there unless it's like a rain delay or something. We've had guys go get an Xbox or something. We'll play some bats or something. But it's nice enough.
Now, what was your first car?
First car. My first car was a Chevy Cavalier. Nothing to be too excited about.
Was it the blue one?
Yeah, it was.
I remember
the
that
blue one.
car.
You know the one.
That's awesome. I was hoping you were going to say the van.
No, I don't count that. That was my family's car. We don't even have that one anymore. But yeah, that big 15-passenger van was definitely very recognizable. Everybody knew when it was me or my family that was coming in it. So luckily, I was able to get a little bit better ride for my first car at least. So, but that Cavalier is also passed on. So.
Right. So that van helped us out in 2 of our Florida trips by taking a lot of people.
Yeah.
I do remember the last trip. It seemed like it was on its last leg. Only one window would go down and it had no AC. I am lucky I did not have to drive that van.
Yeah, we're all lucky you didn't have to drive that van.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No, it served its time and purpose well, but it definitely, we wore it out on those Florida trips, and my family drove it around a lot too. So it lasted longer than I thought it was going to, but it finally met its end. Only so many miles are going to be put on a beast like that.
Now, did you guys upgrade?
I would call it an upgrade. They have since 2 of the kids are out of the house now, they were able to downsize. So they have a Honda Odyssey now. So slowly my parents, are working their way back towards a little sports car. They'll get there in another 20 years or so.
Right. I was going to say, by the time that all the kids are out, there's going to be grandkids coming, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm taking it one step at a time, but mathematically the odds are probably with that.
Nice. All right. Finally, this is my favorite part of the show. Normally I'd ask you questions about famous people named Wyatt or someone with the last name Whitman, but since I could only come up with 2, it was kind of a stretch. No, it wasn't kind of a stretch with that. It was difficult to get like 3, 4, or 5. So I figured let's go a different route. We're gonna play How Well You Know Taylor University. About your college. Let's see. All right. How well do you know Taylor University? Number 1. How well do you know Taylor? What year was Taylor University founded?
Taylor University was founded in 1846.
That is correct. I need to get a ding, ding, ding button. All right. 1 for 1. Here we go. If I've
You can
decided,
add that in later.
right there you go. I could actually. It'll take me 2 seconds. Okay. All right. Number 2. Now, if you do go 5 for 5, I did have someone go 6 for 5. I'll give you bonus questions. I'll ask you the two other ones that I did come up with other than Wyatt and Whitman. So, all right. Number 2.
Yep. Okay.
Who was Taylor University named after?
Taylor University was named after Bishop William Taylor.
Yep. 2 for 2. There we go. Number 3. How well do you know Taylor University? What city did Taylor originally start out in?
It's a little bit of a trick question, but technically Fort Wayne.
That is correct. That is no trick question. That's according to Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is never wrong. It started in Fort Wayne. So that goes along with question number 4. Question number 4, how well do you know Taylor? What was Taylor originally founded as? What was its original name?
I believe you're referring to the Fort Wayne Female Bible College.
That is, wow. This is all something you guys learn on your freshman orientation or what?
Well, I mean, you pick stuff up through 4 years at a place, but there's also people who are just kind of weirdly proud of the fact that we, have kind of that bizarre founding.
Right. I didn't know that until I started doing research. And it's funny, the things that I figure out or find out just from doing research that I didn't know before. So, real quick, did you know how much it cost to go there for a year when it first started?
I do not know that one. I've never heard that. I don't even.
I wouldn't even take a guess.
If I had to guess,
yeah, take
I would
a guess.
say maybe like. Yeah, let me think. What was a lot of money back then? I don't know. Maybe like $20-$25. That seems like a lot of money 200 years ago.
I thought you were going to be way off on this. I'm not kidding. I was ready to shame you. For $22.50 for 1 year.
Okay. All right. Right in the middle. I'll take that. I told you I like history, so I'm a big Civil War history nerd, so I have a general idea of money at that time, I guess. But
when I was talking to my dad about his first job at Kellogg's, he was making $2.50 an hour, and I'm like, "How could you live off of that?" He's like, "Son, back in the 70s, $2.50 was a lot of money." So,
yeah, it's crazy how times change.
Yeah, I know. Now that even wouldn't get you a job as a server or a waitress.
Right. That's illegal to pay somebody that nowadays.
Right. All right, number 5. Let's see if you can go 5 for 5. What year did they finally start admitting men?
Okay, I've heard this before. Let me think. They started admitting them in. I don't want my guess to be wrong. I gotta go 5 for 5. And they told me. I do remember them telling me this freshman year, but I don't remember. I'm gonna say like I don't know, maybe the 1870s.
Close, 1850. 1850 is when it was.
Not that close, but
again,
I appreciate it.
Again, according to Wikipedia, 1850.
Okay, well, yeah, maybe I'll have to go in and change it on Wikipedia later so I end up being right. But,
isn't that crazy that when I first started college and Wikipedia just started, people were actually using that as a research source, and the teacher looked at us and like, "Dude, this is not a source. You realize people can edit that." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so I won't use it anymore." Geez, that's all you had to say. You didn't have to point me out. So.
Yeah, no, they still say that, although I feel like it's become a little more trusted generally. But
Right. Well, like I said, there was a lot of history there. There was a lot of research, and I kind of enjoyed doing that. History is kind of cool. I don't remember a lot of stuff, but I like going down rabbit holes and learning about stuff. Yeah. So, like the Civil War, if I started on that, I don't know what I would do with my time.
Yeah, you'd spend a few years on it for sure. But no, those are some good questions. I'm actually surprised I was able to go 4 for 5.
Right. Just for poops and giggles, let's say it that way. instead of what it usually says.
Mm-hmm.
The famous Wyatt. This Wyatt was in the battle as the OK Corral. Name the Wyatt.
Wyatt Earp.
There you go. All right, that was the one Wyatt that I knew. Okay. There's a couple other, like, there's YouTube stars named Wyatt, and I don't know why YouTube stars are
that
becoming famous.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
So I have 2 followers on YouTube, so I think I'm almost famous. So, all right.
You're getting there.
Right.
You're almost famous, yeah.
There we go.
Just a couple more.
Almost famous. I'm hoping. I'm trying to find the right guest to push me over. So, and
well, good luck. Keep searching for him, because I'm sure that won't be me, but you'll find him eventually.
You never know. Taylor University is a pretty popular school, right?
They are. They, for a small school, I'm always surprised by how many people either know of it or graduated from it, or have had kids that did or something. So its reach is definitely farther than you would expect.
Right. Now, if I could just get a hold of your social media manager and maybe give out a little shout out to help out the cause.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth a shot. I don't know who that is, but I know they pay somebody for it. So.
Right. I talked to Minkus about getting the Pacers to do a shout out, and he kind of laughed at me. He's like, "You don't want to see the price tag on that one."
I bet. Yeah, I bet. It's kind of the way the business goes, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. The last question was, name the famous Whitman. Obviously, he authored the poem "Oh Captain, My Captain."
Yeah, Walt Whitman.
Now, being named Whitman, did you get a lot of questions about if you were related to him or not?
Yeah. Growing up, I got both of those mentioned to me all the time. People would call me Wyatt Earp, or they would ask if I'm related to Walt Whitman. I believe I am distantly, but so yeah, I would I'd get called either Wyatt Earp or Walt a lot growing up. So that's pretty much the main 2 people think of whenever they hear my name. So I've heard both of those in many different forms throughout my life.
Nice. Well, there you go. That's it. Before we go, is there anything you want to talk about or give any special shout outs?
No, I mean, shout out to Gull Lake Baseball and to you and the rest of the coaching staff. Appreciate everything you guys did for me, and certainly wouldn't have ended up where I was able to if it wasn't for you guys and the guys I played with. So I appreciate you calling, and it's good to catch up and kind of reminisce about some good times. And I'll be around this summer, so we'll have to catch up.
Nice. I always feel like this is a class reunion when I do shows like this. So it's always nice having people that I've coached on that are doing great things in college and wrapping up their college career and becoming an adults. And I will stalk you on Facebook just for a warning, or Twitter, just to see what you guys are up to, because in essence it's kind of seeing like your kid kind of growing up too. So It has been a blast. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you for having me on, and it's a great show. You do it well, and I'll continue to listen in the future and enjoy some guests you get that are certainly more entertaining than I was. But thanks for having me on. I'll catch you around.
All right. We'll see you when you come up, buddy.
All right. Sounds good. See you, Coach.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, bye.
All right, that's number 14 in the books. Thanks again for Wyatt for joining me in the Baird Cave via the Baird Phone. If anybody's wondering, I have not upgraded yet. It's still a microphone on a broomstick, so I'm going old school with that. It was awesome to have him here, be part of the show. Can you think of someone else that might be a good fit? Let me know. Please subscribe, follow, share, like, hit the notification button, hit the bell, let me know. You subscribe, you like, you share. If you do all those things, it'll tell you when my next episode comes out. I try to do this on a weekly basis every Wednesday. If worst case scenario, I try to get on Thursday, but I want to get this out same time, same channel every time. So again, you can check out previous episodes too. You can find the Baird Necessities on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and YouTube. Please follow me on Twitter at the Baird NEC. Send me some email. You can drop me an email at thebairdnec@gmail.com. Tell all your friends. Let me know, if there's someone that you want to hear. I know I keep doing a lot of Gull Lake people, but that's who I have contacts with. I've been reaching out to other schools. I'm slowly getting answers back. I want to reach out to other schools. I want the whole community to be involved. I know I've had Plainwell's Austin Williams. That was a great one. I'm working on some other people too, former athletes that are in the business world that did a lot in high school. I've reached out to some pro athletes that were from the area. Again, it's been slowly but surely until I can get them on. I've got a great resource of kids that are available. And if you can think of anybody else that you want to hear on this, help me out. I need your help. Send me an email, thebairdnec@gmail.com. Let's get it going. Let's get some more people on here. Let's spread it out. Let's get the whole community involved. I need your help, guys. Again, anybody you want on here, just let me know. You can join me next week, the same Baird time and the same Baird channel. It's Coach Baird, and you've been listening to the Baird Necessities. Good night.